Hello, greetings everybody. Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, I pray and hope that this video reaches you in the best of physical health, in the best of mental health, and of course in the best of spiritual health. In this video tonight, I wanted to react to the speech of John Mahama, Ghana's president, a speech he gave at the UN's General Assembly in New York, a speech in which he kind of asked for a UN resolution on slavery, asking the United Nations General Assembly to recognize slavery of Africans by Europeans as the gravest crime, as the worst crime committed against humanity. Here is part of the speech, the first phase of the speech. I will read it to you guys, and as soon as I finish reading the first phase, this phase, I will come and share my thoughts with you guys on his speech and what I really believe this speech is about, and what I see wrong with this speech coming from John Mahama. Here we go. Your Excellencies, head of state and government, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, truth begins with the language, with the power that words hold to shape consciousness, to shift perspective, to propel action. I therefore offer these truths as a starting point. There is no such thing as a slave. There were human beings who were trafficked and then enslaved by people who believed they could own those human beings as chattel, as their property. Some will hear this and think that I am splitting hairs. Isn't that the same thing, they might ask? No, it is not at all the same thing. Not if you acknowledge an individual's humanity, not if you respect an individual's basic right to dignity. The entire transatlantic slave trade was designed to deny African people their humanity, and that denial was premised on a racial hierarchy with no basis in fact or science, a racial hierarchy that deemed whiteness superior and blackness inferior. The atrocities that were committed against enslaved Africans, the myriads of injustices that were born of slavery and carried forward into successive social framework, took place specifically because they were considered objects. So when discussing slavery and its resulting institutions and practices, we must always start by reclaiming racial equality, the dignity of Africans, the humanity of our ancestors who were enslaved, and as a matter of course, our own humanity. Recently, someone asked me to explain the importance of the resolution on the declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans and the racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. I responded without pause or hesitation, and I would like to share with you what I told him. This resolution allows us as a global community to collectively bear witness to the plight of the 18 million men, women, and children whose homes, communities, names, families, hopes, dreams, futures, and lives were stolen from them over the course of 400 centuries. Okay, I will end this phase of his speech that I said I was going to read to you guys. What I will do right now is to share with you my own thoughts on John Mahama himself as the president of Ghana, and this speech he gave before the United Nations General Assembly, requesting, or rather asking the United Nations to acknowledge or to recognize enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. Well, as you guys could hear me or even feel me when I was reading the speech of John Mahama, of course not the full speech that I have read, I just have read, like I said, the first phase of the speech. The speech sounds very interesting. It's a very interesting speech. It's a very powerful speech filled with emotions, with sadness, and a reminder to us Black Africans and to the entire human race what we went through historically as a people at the hands of some Europeans and European systems. And it reminds us of how much the Europeans don't view us as human beings with equal humanly rights or humanly dignities. as all other human beings. But my problem is with the person who have delivered this speech, the president of Ghana, John Mahama. John Mahama, while he is claiming to be fighting for our ancestors as Africans, our ancestors that went through slavery, who were enslaved by Europeans. John Mahama, just like a few days ago, he signed a so-called security pact with the European Union. John Mahama, while he is the president of Ghana, John Mahama is having multiple United States of America's colonial imperialistic military bases installed in Ghana. John Mahama, while he is the president of Ghana, John Mahama is allowing the United States of America to have a bioweapon laboratories on the soil of Ghana. A bioweapon laboratories that represents an existential threat to the people of Ghana. John Mahama, Your Excellency, John Mahama, the United States of America's military bases in Ghana, will you tell me that you don't know the real root cause of them? The mindset that led to the United States of America to want to have military bases in Ghana. Will you, John Mahama, tell me that you don't know why? Well, if you don't know why they're having bioweapon laboratories in Ghana, why they are having military bases in Ghana, why they are still controlling Ghana's economics and Ghana's politics, they are the ones who choose Ghana's presidents. So that's why I say they still control Ghana politically. You understand? Now, to get back to the mindset or the mindset from which was born the idea of having the United States of America's military bases in Ghana, is still the same imperialistic ideas, superiority complex ideas, the very superiority complex of white people and the very inferiority complex of black people that they have as a mindset is the very mindset that led them to want to have their military base in our countries as black Africans. So when you tell us you are fighting for the past, while you yourself, you are here today encouraging the very mentality of the past, you accepting them to practice the very past, the very mentality of the past systemically today, while you are the president of Ghana, I will say your speech came through the wrong person. You are not the right person to make this speech. You are not the right person because you are partaking today in systemically oppressing the Ghanaians, in systemically showing the whole world that Ghanaians are inferior,